There we go. Hello, 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 everybody, and welcome to another episode of QI. Alright, let me close the doors. How's it going, guys? Hope you've all had a good day. Finally, I've had a reasonably-ish good day. So, the last stream of the week, let's wrap up the main story of the week, and that's the movement of the world craziness. So, I'm still annoyed. Alright, so the video's up. There you go. It's done. The video is released. Hooray! The WP content drought is over. But there's still a problem with it, and I'm gonna just be blunt about it right now with you guys. Okay, the problem is, like, somewhere in the middle, there's a single shot where I started recording before I got to the location I wanted to shoot at in-game. So what you actually see is you see me, instead of like it just transitioning from scenic to scenic to scenic, still no panning, no motion on the camera, whatever. Instead, there's like a random one in the middle where I'm on my world map, and the filter's on and stuff. But I'm on my world map, and then I TP to the city, or to COE, I think is where I go. And then I stop, and then I look. And it's just, like, really winds me up. So I noticed that, right? I finally managed to fix the flickering issue last night. And then I noticed that there was that problem. So what I did was I fixed the problem, and then re-rendered. And then I realized that I hadn't applied my edits to my network-attached storage, which is where the other PC renders from. So I made a rookie mistake, and when I rendered it out, I looked, and I was like, oh my god, the shot is still in there. How have I made the mistake? This is crazy. So then right before I went to bed last night, I rendered again, but this time actually transferred the stuff across. And then after that was done, when I woke up this morning, I clicked the video, and I confirmed what I thought was it was fixed. I thought, okay, alright, it's gone. This is good. This is the video. Finally, I've got the actual video. Let's upload it. I went to upload it. I posted about it. I tweeted about it. Clicked into the middle of the final thing that I just posted about, and the fucking issue is still there, and I'm gonna lose my mind. I've never been this angry. I can't pull the video now though. That's it. I've pulled it twice. It's over. I can't put it. There were already people. The original one that I did, right, had like, I don't know, before I pulled it really quickly. It had like 400 views, so it'd only been up for like a couple of minutes. But it had like 30 likes, 0 dislikes. Everyone who saw that video liked it and was happy with it. But because I had the audacity to fix an issue with the damn thing and put everything else on hold, I guess, the new one, those 400 people, a few out of those 400 people have just seen like a double upload, and now this new one's got like people are sort of been like, oh, what the hell, we've already seen it. Ah, it just makes me cry. And I had someone else earlier say, oh, I don't mean to sound like a prick, but your recent videos have been really subpar. And I'm like, I've tried so hard on these recent videos. People, I get it. So today, for those watching this out of time, I uploaded the Movement of the World is finally up, part 2, done. But also, because it's been a while, I just straight away double uploaded, because it was ready now, the Immersive Queensdale tour, the 3.5 hour long video. And obviously people don't understand what that is. I even did like a special thing on the description today. I made the description, instead of a wall of text that I knew people would skip, I made it a SoundCloud post. So if you want to listen to me talk and you actually get the commentary, you can click that for the description in an attempt to maybe make people understand what that video is. But no, it doesn't have commentary, so it's bad. But I have no regrets for the Immersive tour. I like the Immersive tour. The rest will go on Wood Potatoes too, and that'll be that. But yeah, welcome guys. I am overall happy. I'm happy it's all finally over. I'm happy that tomorrow I get to put up Tomb Raider. I'm happy that I get to get back in the loop. I actually feel fairly out of the loop with current events for Guild Wars 2, because I haven't done a video on current events for so long, and I'm not sure where to pick it back up. I need to just do like one big video talking about everything that's happened. And in due time, hopefully we will. Alright. So there you go. So the end of last stream, we got some hero armor. We sorted some stuff out, and the story has progressed. We actually went home to Istan, but we're back in corner already. Maybe they could have improved the game a little bit there. They could have had us for a little bit longer in Istan, so it feels a bit more natural that we've had supposedly had a huge fucking boat ride all the way home, and then we've had another one coming back. But you're really there for like 2 seconds. It would have been very cool if they did a couple of primary quests and eventually unlocked a mission. So like, say for example down here, right, you see the very bottom of the island. You never get to explore this in Guild Wars 1 ever. Wouldn't it be really cool though if at this point in the chapter you return, and it's so easy to invent a reason for us to have to come here. Oh, they want to have a meeting about it, but the Cornins have already launched a preemptive attack. They'd already paid the Corsairs off for this contingency, and the Corsairs have captured our leaders. So you come down here and you have like another mission. That'd be cool, and you like actually have a real amount of time on his stand. That would have felt really organic and natural, and it would have felt like the story is genuinely coming first, and it's not just an excuse to get us to explore new places all the time. I would have really liked that. They didn't. We were only there for a second. It's a minor nitpick, as all nitpicks are. But we're back. So we've got the plan now to go to Vabbi, which is how I should be saying it. I should be saying Vabbi, not Vabbi. It's Vabbi, even though there's 2 B's, not 2 A's. I don't know. Is that just an American accent twist thing? Oh, this guy here, I think, guys, is wearing a Guild Wars 1 outfit. Look at that. Guild Wars 1 outfit. This is what they need to come back to developing this game for, because then they can throw these out and people will buy them. If you're on the Pogan Passage mission today, the Z quest is active. 1 kg and 500 Sun Spear. Well, I actually don't know. I don't know whether we're going to be doing that. Because you guys are going to get to vote. But I appreciate that information. So today's going to be a good stream. Today's going to be Vote Mania again. Or it should be, I think. I can't quite remember the order of the quests that we've got coming here. But we're back. Let's have a chat with Donkey. Donkey Wonky, our friend. In the German translation, it is actually Vabbi. Oh, with 2 A's, really. That's interesting. Okay, so he's got a new quest for us. You can't just run off without a plan, blah, blah, blah. He says, the villagers in the area are showing elevated signs of unrest. Something significant must have happened, but for everyone is too afraid to talk about it. There's a chatty herbalist over in Arctic Ward who might be able to tell us what's going on. I'm not sure how, but Kos knows this person, so take him along with you. Once you know what's afoot, report back immediately. Is that something that you can handle? Simple, simple. Alright, that's a Kos quest. Let's do that quickly as we ease into the stream here. So, Arctic Ward. Let's enter Arctic Ward from the command post, shall we? We've not done that yet. So, it's actually down here beyond this this canvas and over on this side. See that? Arctic Ward. Because that's one of the main ideas of why we have our base here. It's hidden, but we also can get our fingers in all the pies. Oh, I was so happy, though. The Movement of the World Part 2, some people are talking about on Reddit right now. And talking about what's interesting about it, which is the things that never really made it into Guild Wars 2. If you listen to Movement of the World Part 2, right, it is so full of interracial conflicts, I guess, and fears and paranoia, and it's a dark world that they're painting for us at that point. It's really interesting. You're hearing about the Norn killing Char and the Char killing Norn, and they're only on like a tentative alliance, and the Norn straight up not liking the humans, and the Asura being like seriously manipulative and conniving and like looming over the world with their fingers in many pies, which is what I'm thinking about. Yeah, there's some serious stuff in there, and it's just gone in Guild Wars 2. And somebody has a brilliant comment already on that thread that I couldn't agree with more. They what did they call it? It wasn't plasticky. They used some descriptor that I think is very, very appropriate for the Guild Wars 2 playable races. That we're just all very was it spongy or something he said? But you know, like, it's so little of it comes through because all of the playable races, we can't have the players being animal, you know, rude to each other. I would love more of that, though. I'd love more of that. Flaganti's trying to announce something on Discord. Yeah, Mondays have been Guild Wars 1 for the past couple of weeks. Indeed, they have been. Why? Because we started Nightfall a little while ago. Because I was feeling pretty hyped about it. I'm not sure what it was exactly that got it on my mind. Oh no, I got clumsiness on my elite. Damn, that's like pro play from that enemy PvE. Oh no, and I got clumsiness again on the mighty throw. Yeah, I can't remember why we started doing it. We started doing it that I need to put go for the eyes on, like, really soon. I need to put go for the eyes on. I need some energy generation. Instead of this signet or something would be a good idea. Maybe, unless there were some actual bosses around. But I've been having fun, and it's something to do. I mean, if I was doing a Guild Wars 2 stream today, I really couldn't tell you guys what the content of that Guild Wars 2 stream would be. Unless it would be more Thief PvP. But I want to keep it mixed up a little bit. I want something for everyone. Not everyone likes PvP. Not everyone especially likes people learning PvP, which is really what... Well, I'm not learning PvP, but I'm learning Thief, right? I'm not the best Thief. I'm substantially better at the moment than I was in the first stream, but you get what I mean. So, you know, if people want to watch some Guild Wars 1, plus I like seeing some love get thrown back for this. It deserves a bit of love. It was really weird. As I was logging in, about 5 minutes before I even started the stream, I was browsing the internet doing other stuff, mostly related to Oblivion modding. I was reading some threads about piffying my entire mod install now, because the heaviest area that I've got stuff now, I only get about 25 FPS, and I really want that to be at least 30 for the YouTube videos when I start doing them. So I was looking in optimization stuff and whatever. But I just sort of idly loaded Guild Wars 1 up while I was knowing that the stream was going to be starting in a second. And it was really weird. I just felt like it was 8 years ago or something. It just felt like, oh, this is Guild Wars 1. Everything felt really natural in a way that I haven't experienced for a long time. So yeah, of course I'm just browsing through my character select screen. It was awesome. It's fun to watch me fail. I don't think that there was one bad... The first Thief stream we did, I think I got very salty. But I got kind of salty this week as well. But not necessarily because I was playing bad, but because I was angry at my teammates for playing bad. Which isn't good. I didn't like the person I was there. When is Collector's Edition unboxing? That's a great question. I really want to do them. I really want to do them. But I wanted like an appropriate time, right? Like I wanted to do the Movement of the World as well for a long time, but I wanted an appropriate time for it. Basically what happened was this. I fully intended to do every single unboxing one in a row, one in a row, one in a row. However, I did the Cantha unboxing video and I didn't like it. At all. Don't forget, right, like that style of video is very new to me, okay? Like I know I've been on the website for a while, but I've been in my own little bubble. I've done my thing. I've got very good at my thing, but like when it comes to that kind of video, getting the camera just right and whatever, I'm very new to it. And I wasn't 95% of all of you who ever watched that Cantha video, had I released it, would have been like, oh, it was fine, WP, but I wasn't confident in it. I didn't like it, so I didn't put it up that week. And then I moved very quickly after, and the funny thing is, the way that I filmed that was on my camera phone. I do have cameras, but they're back from when I studied film, and they're old tape cameras, and it just, I don't have, they used to use Firewire interface and stuff, which I do not have set up whatsoever. So I used my phone, and I didn't really have like a proper way to angle the phone down over a surface like I wanted. I was actually doing a really weird precarious balance thing that was incredibly dependent on my old PC setup, which I don't have at the new place. So that's what's kind of stifled it, and now it's been long enough that I feel like it'd be weird to just do another one. So I'm kind of waiting for an interesting moment, I guess. Do you think the Abaddon Fractal will still someday be added? No, I don't. I don't think it will be. It's not a lost concept. That was a deliberately non-used concept. I think there's a difference there. I don't think this is the same as the cat stuff in Divinity's Reach or whatever. I mean, at some point, all these things were deliberately cut. But there's another side to bringing back the Abaddon thing that I think the devs are wary of. And they should be wary of. And I have an incredible amount of respect for them if this is on their mind. And it's this, that they told the players they were making a choice that would impact the rest of the game, a choice that would impact the history of Guild Wars 2. And we made that choice, and we chose Ellen Keel as a collective, and we chose that fractal, and we got that fractal, and we got Ellen Keel. It would kind of undermine that. I know that many of the people in the community now view that as a distant thing, and maybe don't feel attachment to it or whatever, but I think that it is really important that they maintain that, you know, that decision that was made, and what that means is the next time we have a cool choice, if they ever do one that's a little bit more than, oh, just name this area in Lion's Arch or name Destiny's Edge and stuff like that, right? Not Destiny's Edge, Fate's Razor, Dragon's Watch. If they do something more than that, like we have an A and B again at some point, and I see not main Living World stuff having that opportunity, but maybe current events, they might have that opportunity again. It means that the community will be assured, hey, this is fucking real. This is a choice you're making right now, okay? There's nothing to like sort of make you think, oh, it doesn't really matter because in a couple of years they'll add it anyway. So yeah, stacked on top of that, all of my lack of confidence about an Abaddon Fractal, blah 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 blah. I don't want such an epic moment in the story to become a really repetitive, monotonous part of Endgame. So yeah, I say no. I say don't make the Abaddon Fractal. I say leave it be. Go pursue new ideas. Although you may not think so, the Quanon lowlands provide a plethora of herbs from which to choose. All you need is a keen eye and patience. Alright, quick little poll here. Is it herbs? Because there's a H in it. Yeah, that's right, a H, not an H. A H, alright? Or is it herbs? Okay, is it herbs because we're trying to be French even though we're not, okay? Which one is it, guys? Herbs is 1, give me a 1, or herbs is 2, give me a 2. Alright, there you go. Let's see who wins. The herbs or the herbs. Here we go, a little recon. I see you're with Koss, so I probably shouldn't be even talking with you. But I might be the only one who can help. Last night, Cornyn troops marched in and rounded up the most vigorous young men in the village. The Cornyns are marching upon the garrisons nearby to replace the lost troops. The families are upset, but there's nothing they can do. Perhaps you could create a division so these young men can get away. I know most of these boys. They're not good. They're good lads and don't deserve impressment. Please help them. Oh, look at the fighting. Oh, we had a 3 vote in there as well. 1, but the letter is H, not H. Please go with the intuitive one. All right. Language is there to pass on understanding. If you understand what it means when I say H, okay, then go with the intuitive option. It's as simple as that. And I'll say that for every decision. I know that British English can be very illogical in many places. Like all the random U's we add into words. But that's not a matter of pronunciation at the very least. Or should it be Callauer? That's funny because that sounds really American. Callauer. Callauer. There's a really funny Mitchell & Webb sketch where it's called Grammar Nazi. Type in to YouTube. That's right, pause the stream, go on, don't worry, I'll still be here. But go to YouTube and go Mitchell & Webb Grammar Nazi, and they do a fun little spin on that. Love Mitchell & Webb, I'm such a huge fan. It's a shame their sketch show never kept going. Alright, let's keep going. Yeah, people in chat like it, you remember? It's herbs because British. So is what pronounced wahat? Wahat. Wahat. Wood. I think it's more like wood. There you go. We shouldn't be scared to dive into these big questions, guys. These big topics. I'm barely even following the point of this side quest right now. Well, I guess it gives us a Cornyn coin, which we can use to trade for something at some point. Oh, cost is 20 now, which means we can stack him up. Oh! Oh, we've messed this up. It should be 3 tactics, 12 strength. Damn. Alright, well, we'll figure it out. Where is everyone? Whoa! Alright, there you go. Rewind that if you want that. Rewind that, cheeky son of a bitch. That, my friends, was Guild Wars 1 rubber banding. You think you're moving... The level of desync with the server is enormous. That's why as we ran along, I didn't see any mobs anywhere. And why my heroes weren't with me, because my heroes were still detecting my server position, which was over at spawn. Crap, that's one hell of a rubber band. I didn't even get caught on any crazy geometry for that one. Dear. You see all these mobs, like these madrigals and stuff? Yeah, we didn't see them because my client couldn't load them because technically, I guess the server can't present them to you or whatever. I'm not quite sure how Guild Wars 1 spawning works, but it's quite interesting because nothing's actually persistent. Stuff only spawns when you get like just outside of compass range from them. That's why every time you do a mission, whether you get to a certain point in that mission, 20 minutes or 40 minutes in, it doesn't matter. That patrol will always start in that same place, allowing you to develop consistent tactics to tackle encounters. This is why I typically say the life of the wife was ended by the knife. Or is that knife? Kniffy. Did you hear that? Soldiers on the march. We must be close. The lead and the villagers catch their breath. That gives us a few moments to access the enemy. Excellent. A little combat ought to make the perfect diversion. Alright, so they're going to fight each other? What? No, what? I'm confused. I'm not a smart man. Who goes there? Good afternoon, good soldiers. I'm a local blacksmith. Perhaps you'd like to sample my wares. I mostly deal in steel. Cold, deadly steel. And then he goes for it. Yeah! That was Koss sounding British and then going to his regular badass voice afterwards. Oh, I'm in a oh, no, it's not a meteor shower. It was just a meteor that hit me there. That was weird. Okay, I got to explain how Guild Wars 2 affected me there. Okay, so in Guild Wars 1, it works like this. There's a skill called Meteor, which only lands once, and costs less, has less exhaustion associated with it, shorter cast time, blah, 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 blah. But it's one impact, knocks down, I think, big damage. That's Meteor. There's a second elemental spell called Meteor Shower. Much longer cast time, much longer cooldown, more exhaustion, blah, 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 blah. Okay? So, if you get hit by a meteor, On your combat log here, registering incoming damage, there's nothing on it at the moment because I'm not getting hit by anyone. It says, if you get hit by a meteor in Guild Wars 1, it will say meteor, and it will have the meteor skill effect, and so on. If you get hit by a meteor shower, it will say meteor shower. And then if you get hit twice by that meteor shower, because it's a rolling AoE, it will say meteor shower times 2, meteor shower times 3, meteor shower times 4. And that's basic information, right? Like, if you're thinking, why is he saying that? That sounds really obvious. That sounds so obvious, maybe I'm not following. It is. It's very obvious. Meteor will show as meteor here. Meteor shower, a different spell will show. But here's the thing. In Guild Wars 2, you also have meteor and meteor shower. Meteor is a very rare skill that is sort of an artifact of some design they never ran with very well, which was environmental weapons, having different profession effects on it and stuff. That's meteor. So an elementalist in Guild Wars 2 can pick up a rock and they'll get meteor. It's a very rare skill. But Guild Wars 2 also has meteor shower. And doesn't meteor shower register in the Guild Wars 2 combat log as just meteor? It doesn't register as meteor shower. It just registers as you got hit by a meteor. Doesn't it? Or am I wrong? The amount I'm saying meat here makes me hungry. I shouldn't be. Oh, I roasted a garlic chicken today and it was amazing. Stank the place out, but in a good way. I think that's the way it is. It has a red onion ring in its mouth. A red onion ring? Is that a thing? I've never had a red onion ring. K has a crush on N. That's why K goes silent when it's in front of N. Oh. Oh. Okay. The villagers are overjoyed to be reunited with their loved ones, but many fear the Corner military will carry out reprisals. They are blaming the death of the captain and their men on the Sun Spears. Let them blame us. We can bear the burden. Okay, there you go, Lone Eye. With your slutty outfit. Alright, let's go back out. Yeah, because the individual projectiles are called meteors in the combat log, yeah. I forget Guild Wars spell armor wrong. Does Guild Wars spell armor wrong? I think they just do the American version all the time, don't they? Yeah, they just go, they force American English on you. And I don't think there's any text option to change it. Which is a shame, because Guild Wars 1 has the best text option in the game, known as Bjork, Bjork, Bjork. Which is supposed to make you sound, what is it, Swedish? Is this Swedish? Use the text to look at your settings. That's what that says there. Chat the filter, level. Level. There you go, level. Nuna. That means none. Maximum. We'll play with a little bit of Bjork, Bjork, Bjork. It's a donkeru. You can't just run off of the plan. Let me help you. Life will be the soon sun spears for years. I play new strategies. Come here. Execute them. Let me do the same for you. To Vabbi. We must go north to the fortress of Juhai to reach Vabbi. There the mountainous Neru and the Lephalius order of the first great cataract. Once it is a clear passage, both the Corners have about the fortress there and the controls erase. Oh god, this is so bad. We need to find a way to it or around it. Just remember to keep an eye on the Narashi. Her implosive actions have a tendency to attract attention. There you go. I vaguely got it there. Here we go. We must go north through the fortress of Jahai to reach Vabbi. There the mountains narrow and the Ellen falls over the first great cataract. Once it was a clear passage, but the Corners have built a fortress there and control the road. We just need to find a way through it or around it. Just remember to keep an eye on Narashi. Her impulsive actions have a tendency to draw attention. There you go. There you go. Yeah, Bjork, Bjork, Bjork. It's impressive, isn't it? You know, when I used to play Guild Wars 1, I never quite considered the amount of work that went into Bjork, Bjork, Bjork. They translated entire They must have done that. They must have done that with some kind of generator, surely. There's no way someone by hand went through translating every bit of quest text. Is there? Into Bjork, Bjork, Bjork? Literally unplayable. WP had a stroke. Look. Didn't have a stroke. Alright. It's interesting to see all the Korean stuff and thinking about the regions this was once released in. Look at that signpost. Looks really cool. The Jahai Bluffs. Alright guys, so we're going to a new area now. These are called the Jahai Bluffs. And we're going to get a bit of the deeper story now. Okay, so just to be clear about what Dunkoro was saying there. He's saying we have to pass through the first Grand Cataract, which is like here, okay? But there's a big-ass fortress, so we can't do it. So I guess we've got to plan something to do with that. But what's really interesting about that cataract, okay, is that's a really important place for one of the biggest legends of this entire continent, or one of the areas of this continent. And in fact, one of the main motivators for the developers to make this expansion, this campaign in the first place. Who am I talking about? None other than Churai Osa. And at this point in the story, the Churai stuff starts coming in. We will have a vote very soon. Yep, you guys are all already saying who you want it to be. So here's Narashi. Sup, Narashi? We must move carefully. There are Conan patrols everywhere. Dunkoro said what about me? If anything, his harebrained schemes are liable to backfire on us more than anything I do. Well, let's waste no more time with idle chatter. Alright, she's out. Okay. So, the area I'm stood right now actually was featured in Movement of the World Part 2. Melandru be placed. I'm glad you're here. Whatever's happening in Corner has disturbed several large insect hives across the countryside. Now those creatures are everywhere. Melandru herself will provide you with her blessing for this service. Would you care to join the fight and cleanse the land of insects? Clearly. Alright, so check it out over here, okay? This is a mysterious tomb. This is the tomb of a very important character in Guild Wars 2. Yes, indeedy. I'm talking, of course, about Palawa Joko. That's it. This is it. Right here. And he's not buried here for a small, stupid reason. This is a roundabouts where he was defeated. Okay, the story was a long-ass time ago. I can't remember how long ago now. 200 years? No, 200 years ago was the Jade Wind. I think it was way before even that. Maybe it was 500 years ago, possibly even 1,000 years ago. I can't remember. But, a long-ass time ago. And that's from Guild Wars 1's time, by the way. The Jade Wind was 200 years before Guild Wars 1. So it was 450 years before Guild Wars 2. Anyway, this is where he was defeated. He starved the people in Vabbi, much like he'll do again in the future. He crushed the Istani somehow. All that was left were a handful of Cornons led by a man named Churai Osa. And they had a big-ass fight, and Palawa lost. So let's see what the in-game little description here is. This monument commemorates the defeat of Palawa Joko at the Battle of Jahai. So remember where we are. We're in the Jahai Bluffs, okay? After 100 days of bloody battle, Churai Osa and his elite troops defeated Joko's undead forces of grey giants and undead centaurs. Yeah, so one thing you should know about Palawa's undead is they're a lot cooler than Risen. I don't know. Risen are cool. Risen are just old hat now, right? Like, we're all really used to Risen. We're used to Risen A-bombs. Hell, we're even used to the Risen dragons. We're used to the Risen eyes, and so on, and so on, and so on. Palawa's varieties of undead are very different. And one of the good things that ArenaNet did with Corteria is they left themselves space for certain things in the future. They never made any Risen sort of overlap too much, okay? So we do have Risen giants, to be fair. But the giants that Palawa has are very different. They're like headless. He has like headless, he has mummies, and he has undead centaurs. There is not a single Risen centaur in Guild Wars 2. Yet, despite attempts made with magic, blade, and even darker means, Palawa Joko could not be killed. Churai Osa's elite forces chained him by magic and bound him deep in the earth. Thus, the Undead Lord's defeat was complete, and Palawa Joko sealed away forever in a location kept secret by the Order of Whispers. So this is to do with the founding of... Actually, it's to do with the founding of the Sun Spears, I think, I think after they defeat him, they found the Sun Spears, and that's where we come from. And I think the Order of Whispers were active before that. Or I'm getting that wrong, and the Order of this was the entrance of the Order of Whispers into the world. But yeah, so you see how it's glowing kind of magically? A lich cannot be killed, guys. He's kind of like a precursor to what they're setting up with Abaddon in a lot of ways. An entity that cannot be defeated and instead is imprisoned. And that might not make sense to you if all you're doing is watching these Nightfall streams and videos at the moment, but over time, you'll get it, guys. You'll get it. All right, so let's head through. I love this. This is the most iconic map of Corner to me. I love a lot of Corner maps, but it's kind of like we were in the Barbarous Shore before, right? Like, to me, Barbarous Shore is the least visited, least interesting. Well, not least interesting, just least iconic, least thought about Corner map. For me, Jahai Bluffs is what I always think about. It has so many big prominent lore places in it. It's kind of central to all of Corner. I remember doing a lot of adventures through this area, like a lot of them. It's just a fun place. Oh, yeah, guys, argue amongst one another. What's going to happen is we're going to have a vote soon. Some of you guys who know the story already know what that vote's going to be. And if you want your vote to win, you should convince your friends in chat right now. You should say, listen, guys, vote for this, for this reason, or this reason, okay? There's a lot to think about. There's the missions we'll get to think about. This, by the way, okay, I've talked a lot about why I think Nightfall was the height of the franchise. And in one regard, I can quite comfortably articulate why I have these thoughts. I believe that Nightfall is the concept of a branching story done perfectly. It is not too much. It is not too little. Decisions you make are heavily honored. But by the very end of the game, they give you the option to see the other side of the coin as like a bonus. It's perfectly executed. Perfectly. And it's why it makes me cry my heart out that when they were developing Guild Wars 2, they didn't take the format that they had here. I don't know, man. It's obsessed with honestly, the branching story format here is excellent. A little bit more in the secondary quests, maybe just a little bit more. But oof, what they do for the primary story, they're just frequent enough. They have big differences, the characters, the events. The core narrative remains the same, though. The main story beats remain the same. But you feel like there's real justice done to the decisions you make. That's why this big debate can happen in Twitch chat right now, right? Look, because it was implemented well. Of course, hindsight's 20/20. Do you want to solve a question that has been in the story for a while? Ooh, in that case, a certain someone is for you. Ooh. And what question might that be? Might that be a question to do with the Corsairs? Actually, what question is it you're talking about? I actually don't know. Oh, well, I know one question it could be related to. It's a really good decision they give you here. I like this one. I like all of them. I even like the optional decisions you have to make with some of the optional heroes later on, too. Which, trust me, we're going to be doing. Yeah, you can do them both eventually, but it's only post-game. You have to beat the game. And for original Nightfall balance, where they'd actually tuned it quite well, and people, you know, it wasn't like this instant thing you do. Not that it's ever become an instant thing you do, but I mean, like, I don't know, I guess I'm just drawing on my own experience there. The fact that you only got to see the other side of the coin and unlock everyone was really a potent thing for me on my first time playing through this game, because I picked a certain character. I picked two characters, actually. At 2 different points, I picked 2 different characters for my party that actually weren't very good, and I didn't know how to gear, I didn't know how to build them properly, and I actually got stuck right near the end of the game at a place called the Gate of Madness, the penultimate mission, and in my opinion, the hardest part of Nightfall. And I got stuck there for months. And I would always think wide-eyed and dreamily about finally getting to the end so that I could go back and see what these other characters were like. Especially because I'd heard that they were so good. Especially, like, according to their professions and stuff. So I always think back to that, and I think it's such a good structure, right? Like, there's that extra drive, that extra feeling of reward and satisfaction once I'd finished the campaign, finally. Really great stuff. Awesome stuff. And I felt that again when they did Winds of Change, by the way, when they did it's not the same thing exactly, but having a hero as a reward for completing everything on hard mode was awesome. So cool. What an awesome concept. Alright, so now that I've finished ranting there, I just killed them to kill time. This is the... Oh my god, Maloney, don't be mental. She's a nut job. What am I supposed to say about that? That's insane. Maloney, you're dead. I need to change her to guard instead of attack. I think somebody actually left a comment about that on Win Potatoes too. You know who you are. Shout out to that guy. I've changed it now. There you go. Yeah, so this is the fortress. This is the fort. We shouldn't actually be here. Fighting here is a terrible idea. And as you can see, well, as you might be able to tell, we're sort of wiping against these guys because it's hard as all balls. They're taking massive damage, though, to be fair. I don't think they really have much in the way of heals. We can get... But you'll see how these are elite corners? Susuke's done a good job at whittling them down. But elite corners are that little bit higher. You'll notice that they're level 22. So this is something Guild Wars 2 lacks as well. More of an observation than a criticism. But Guild Wars 1 kind of had that exciting thing of enemies kept leveling and you couldn't anymore. So that was like a cool little obvious indicator for you that things were getting harder, and you even outside of what the gameplay itself felt like, it was like, oh, I'm fighting level 22 mobs. Now I'm fighting level 24. Shit, that boss is level 26. Oh my god, now I'm at the end of the game and everything's level 26. Wow, all these things are level 28. Go into hard mode and the big bosses are level 30 or whatever. You know, that stuff was pretty cool. You don't get that in Guild Wars 2 at all. Yeah, and don't forget, guys, when this decision comes, we're going to be able to vote on that character's build as well. I actually can't remember, though. Are we going to vote on a character first, or are we just going to get a character first? I can't remember the order. I'm pretty sure we're just going to get a character, aren't we? Because they're about to introduce a new faction. Yep, a whole new faction. Not the Order Whisperers, not the Sunspears, not the Cornans, not the Vabbians, not the Istani, not the Shore Watchers. Someone else. Some other group that have been referenced already. Many times referenced. We've even seen graves relating to them. We just got attacked by mandragores here. And they're going to make themselves known to us. Is there there's a tiny bit of in Guild Wars 2. There are a few level 81 and level 82. That's true. And it actually does mean something as well because of your chance for glancing blows and stuff. That is true. It's just sort of not played into as much as you'd expect. And it's because they can't play into it. Because they put the way they dealt with the leveling was pretty obnoxious. That, you know, they can never add a mob that's 7 levels higher than the players, because it's basically impossible. And plus, it feels cheaty the way that the it's all cheaty. The way that the glancing works, the way that they just straight up stop you being able to condi stuff. It's like they didn't have time to actually work out a proper statistical based RPG system based on real number growth that actually felt satisfying. Just all arbitrary gates. Maybe I can't blame them though. I think a lot of MMOs do that. I saw BDO doing the exact same damn thing. At least. I don't know why people don't think that stuff's important anymore. Discord Way in 2016? It's basically impossible for you to get me to run Discord Way, because the entire party comp is based on what you guys are doing, so it would have to be a ridiculous amount of votes going exactly perfectly in your favor. And not a single one of our characters that we've already got would be that. Right? Mind you, no one we've already got would actually be in a Discord Way comp, so... There was a little bit of it as well in Brisbane Wildlands, where they had that fort for a long time. Fort Vandal, before we could go into it. Oh, Glimmer of Light. Glimmer of Light's a bitch in PvE sometimes to fight against. We'll get these insects over here as well. Mostly because I've got insect hunt on. And I don't want them sort of attacking me from behind. Yeah, they had like level 80 bandits, but that's not the same. That's just sort of, hey, here's an invulnerable mob that will one-shot you if you come near, that's all. Corn and chest? Did we get a corn and key? That chest looks really cool. Oh, apparently people think one of the characters has better dialogue. Explain it like I'm Five Guys. What's Discord Way? Alright. So, 2 things to know about heroes and AI in Guild Wars 2. Okay, about heroes. Heroes are heavily reliant on the AI. The AI, unfortunately, it's commendable with the ridiculous number of skills, don't get me wrong, but it's not that functional, okay? And specifically, heroes are terrible at this thing called energy management. So, if you give them a bar filled with 2 expensive spells, they will not prioritize things properly. They will blow their energy really fast, and they're awful with it. So, one of the best ways to bypass this in the whole game is to use necromancers. Because necromancers in Guild Wars 1, You have been an outlaw here in Corner Sunspear. If you show yourself a oh, we've already read that. If you ran a Necro in Guild Wars 1, you could give them Soul Reaping, and this would mean they got energy whenever something died. And because you're in PvE, they'd get tons of energy all the time. So early Necro builds for heroes took advantage of this by like running big meat shields on minions and stuff, and having the minions explode and things like that, right? That was something called Sabway. But then people found something even better, and it's called Discord Way, alright? And so, again, heroes are really bad with skill usage, okay? But Necromancer has this elite called Discord, right? What it is it's arm. Oh wow, look, a corn and key right next to the chest. That's like the gods just gave that to us. That's so cool. What was I saying? Okay, yeah. So when you go into hard, well, first thing you need to know is when you go into hard mode, the content is really what most people want to play in the end. In Guild Wars 1, for a long time, they changed it a little bit in a final overhaul later. But most of the time, what the devs did was they massively buffed enemy armor levels, right? And doing this meant that most builds became really shit. Elementalists, for example, were awful because the armor was just way too high, and all that juicy meteor shower damage and firestorm damage just went down the drain. A lot of damage became awful, but there were a couple of very specific sources, namely associated with Mesmer, but some Necro sources as well, and in other places, that's armor ignoring, okay? So what Discord is, and I can show you... No, I can't show you it. I can't show you it, because I don't have anyone with Necro at the moment. Oh, there's a Grim Sister, speaking of that. So what Discord is it's a Necromancer elite skill, okay? And it's a low energy cast, a really short cast cooldown. Both of those two things make it awesome for heroes, because heroes can spam it, and as they're necromancers, they can spam it without really worrying too much. I'm just killing stuff to kill time while we explain this. Alright? But what Discord does is it's armor ignoring damage, and it's very high armor ignoring damage. So the final thing to know about heroes is if you control target a mob, all the heroes will follow your target down to a T. They will all follow it. So what Discord Way was it was loading 3 Necros up. One of them could be like healing and stuff like that or whatever, right? But it was loading 3 Necros up with lots of utility-based high cooldown Necromancer skills who could take advantage of this crazy energy gain, and they would just spam Discord as their elite, and they'd all slam Discord at once on your one target, doing a ridiculous amount of armor ignoring damage, and spike that one target down. And then you go to the next, and you'd spike the next one down. And you go to the next, and you spike that one down. Okay, so the one caveat to this is you might be like, that sounds OP. Why is that so OP? Well, it's this. Discord, you need to have both a hex and a condition on the foe already. Otherwise, Discord will do no damage. So what the player would run is like a build that puts both a hex and a condition on instantly. The classic was... going Assassin secondary, and you take the skill called Assassin's Promise. So Assassin's Promise is a hex you throw on the target, so it's hexed. Then you would use like an instant activation skill called You Move Like a Dwarf, which is a shout. So you shout, and then what that does is it does armor ignoring damage as well, and it knocks the foe down, interrupting their actions, and it cripples them. So in like quarter of a second, the player can put the hex and the condition on the foe and target them, and then the Necros blow it up. But what's really cool is Assassin's Promise. The hex itself is this effect. It's hex your foe. The hex itself does nothing. But if the foe dies while under the effect of the hex, all of the players' skills recharge and they get an energy buff. Just like the Necros got an energy buff. So that's the way you'd play the game. You just run around, Assassin's Promise, you move like a dwarf, there'd be an insane Discord spike, you'd maybe pop Finish Him as well, another dwarf PvE skill, and the mob would die and you go to the next target. Assassin's Promise, you move like a dwarf, finish him. Assassin's Promise, you move like a dwarf, finish him. And you have, and that's 3 skills, and then you have 5 skills to do whatever the hell you want with. 5 skills that instantly recharge, and 5 skills that you have tons of energy, you can do whatever the hell you want with from then on. And the Necros have got tons of utility built into them as well. That's Discord Way. And later when we got to have 7 heroes, people would like mix in 2 Mesmers with it for like massive interrupt capabilities through Panic. When that got revamped, they'd add like clumsiness or ineptitude to interrupt even more, and like spam blinds, even more armor ignoring damage. Have a ritualist SOS spammer, because heroes are really good at using Signet of Spirits as being spirit guys, or like twisting souls as a defensive ritualist, and that would be your comp. It was all Necros, baby. Necros are amazing in Guild Wars 1. Hero Necros. That's Discord Way. Okay, sorry about the huge delay. So we're trying to go through So Narashi says, I know that centaur. That's Mirza Veldrunner. They must have captured him and his warriors. They're treated as slaves, worked to exhaustion and then death. What an atrocity. Okay, so that takes you into the floodplain of Mankellen. Little cheeky thing here, unfortunate about Guild Wars 1. Our quest has not completed, okay, at all, alright? And what it seems to suggest is, there we saw the Corner Guard say, move it, centaur scum! And Mirza said, my pride will not stand for this. And then they walked off through the portal. Now, an unsuspecting player might accidentally walk through that portal into the floodplain of Mankellen, go further into Corner. But that's a bad idea. If you do that, then the quest we're on, because we haven't finished it, will reset back to its default state, and we'll have to go all the way back up here and do all that other stuff. So don't do that. Pay very close attention. Realize that it doesn't want you to follow them. It wants you to go this way. So that always used to catch me out when I was trying to spam my way through Nightfall. I used to farm Domain of Anguish with loads of alt accounts logged in all at once. So I did the Nightfall campaign a ton of times, and I used to switch off my brain while doing it, and that was a moment that I'd always get caught by. Call on Commander, Sun Spears. We best silence these fools. Oh, that's Narashi. We best silence these fools before we head back. Okay, cool. Let's go. If we get you know who and we vote for a specific kind of build, will you go out of your way to get a pet? Yeah, sure. Why not? We can get any of our heroes pets, by the way. As long as you guys are clear about what you want in terms of that. So there we go. We killed the corner escort, the corner guard, and now the quest is done. You see that? It's a bit of a weird way they designed that one. One alone will be less good. Yeah, so running just one Discord guy breaks the synergy. If I'm on a build that doesn't have a hex and a condition, and a spammable hex and condition at that, there are other ways to do it. You didn't have to do Assassin's Promise. You could do like Asuran Scan. Asuran Scan was a really rechargeable hex. Oh, wow, Lexi, thank you. Yes, it means you get cookies. Welcome to the Spud Club for over a year, man. 13 months, Jesus. If you could use like a Asuran Scan, which was a really spammable thing, I think increased your crit chance maybe, or stop them being able to evade you or something like that. You could do that, but I don't have any of those skills because our only PvE skills is associated with the Lightbringer, with the Order of Whispers, and with the Sun Spears at the moment, and we've already got a Sun Spear skill. Well, that is worrisome. I can see that a frontal assault on a heavily fortified location like the Fortress of Jahai would be fully. I'm surprised you made it back. You shouldn't worry me so. At some point, it'd be really cool if we got a Minion Master too. I'd like that. Guild Wars 1 Minion Mancing feels so delicious. If you buff the death magic to 21 through the 20% modifier, and summon a Flesh Golem right on it and get like a level 30 Flesh Golem or whatever the highest level was. You won't believe this. While you were gone, a centaur somehow infiltrated the command post. He hasn't threatened anyone yet, but I'm worried he might. He's pretty angry and he doesn't seem to like the humans. He refuses to talk with anyone but you. You'd better see what he wants before he gets violent. If I can handle demons, I can handle a centaur. Give every hero a pet. I actually did that with my older brother. Listen, how I got into Guild Wars 1 was my older brother. He played the game. He had the PC. He got a job before me, so he could buy the stuff. Blah 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 blah. And he gave me a character on that account that I could play, which was very nice of him. And I appreciate that more and more the more I think about it these days. It's very cool of him. And slowly over time, he ended up fading away from Guild Wars, and I played it more and more and more, and now it's sort of my account. And then they came into Guild Wars 2, and so on and so on and so on. So, wow, where was I going with this? Oh, yeah, okay, so anyway, after a couple of years, still during the Guild Wars 1 days, he kind of quit around Nightfall, and because, I guess, I don't know, maybe he got a job or something. I can't quite remember what it was. He loved factions, but he just never got into Nightfall. But I got him back into the game a couple of years after, and I convinced him to do it because I said, if we both play together, we can have 6 heroes, and we can have all of them with pets. And what we did was everyone had a bear. All of his heroes had a bear, all of my heroes had a bear, and both he and I had bears. So we had this huge party of just bears charging around all over the place. It was a lot of fun. It was totally viable. It was really fun. It was a really cool little thing we were doing. Just having bears everywhere. So, who is this? There's a centaur in the command post, guys. He's very angry. He looks pretty cool, doesn't he? Not like the ones you're used to in Guild Wars 2. Humans,
They always think the world turns on their shoulders. The Centaur people know the secrets you cannot fathom. Our warriors blaze through battle like fire on the dry plain. Your kind can enslave us, but never shall you break our spirits. We fear nothing beneath the open sky.
How badass. Okay, Centaur blackmail.
I need to speak with you, Two Legs. I am Zed Shadowhoof of the Veiled Runner, the last free Centaur pride in Alona.
I will note to you guys that there are no Veiled Runner Centaur in Guild Wars 2. They're not in Guild Wars 2. Should we get a Nightfall expansion, or an Alona expansion, I guess I should call it, I would expect them to come back. And this would be one of the fun things they could do with that kind of content. Do you see all the stuff? All that movement of the world stuff? All that other stuff? There's so much in Alona. And now think about the size of Heart of Thorns. Imagine if that's what the Alona expansion ended up being. There's just not enough space. There's not enough space.
Mirza Veldrunner has been captured and is enslaved at the corn and work camp in the Jajeran estate. I have heard of your struggle against Varish Ossa. If you are truly sincere in your motives, I ask, no, demand, that you and a contingent of your finest accompany me on a rescue mission to free our leader. Otherwise, I will go alone, and if captured, I will be forced to disclose your location. Gather your party and go to the Jahai Bluffs. I will be there with an informant who will escort us past the guards at the Codnor Crossroads. Fight alongside us, or the Cornin dogs will learn of your hideout. Which outcome do you prefer, Two Legs?
What about we just kill you on the spot so you shut up? We need to go to Vabbi. This is all just a big distraction. Alright, let's do it. I love how friggin' obtuse that guy is instantly. He's not likable. Jesus. Demanding centaurs, slay them. It's funny to think of a Guild Wars 2 Crichton in that situation. 4 map Alona expansion. Can you imagine that shit? It makes me want to vomit, right? Like, oh, this is map 1, this is map 2, this is map 3, this is map 4. But guys, there are 3 biomes, alright? In the maps, there's 3. Okay? 3. So it's okay. We got this. Give me $50. I'm such a dick. I'm such a horrible dick. Alright, here we go. Master of Whispers.
No need to introduce.
Ah, he needs a good voice. He needs a good voice.
No need to introduce yourself. I know exactly who you are and what you're capable of. Half the people you've met in Istan work for me, whether they realize it or not. My name? That is unimportant. All you need to know is that I am an ally, and that I know much about our enemies, as I do about you.
Oh!
Zed and I have shared interests. He needs to free his noble centaur leader, and I need a certain overbearing overseer taken care of. Zed has an ally outside the Codnor Crossroads. Together, they've come up with a plan to deceive the Cornins. Follow their instructions. I wish you luck, if that is something you believe in.
So he's talking, he says,
Zed, it is time we commenced. Here's the layout of the estate. Join these humans. You will need to work together. Humph, why? They are the two-legged, weak, inferior. It is the only way you will have my help. It is up to you, Zed. Fine. We will see how much of a mistake this is, Two Legs, when all is said and done. Now continue on, like we discussed. I'll contact you both later.
Alright, the voices are awful there. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Alright. The salt is real. Please upload that bit to YouTube. With the title, Give me $50. Alright. So let's go on the other side of this rock, I guess. There is a way through this quest here, as far as I remember, where you don't even have to aggro anything. So here's the next garrison. So there's a garrison in every map. Oh, and if I remember rightly, the garrison commander on this map is a paragon. I think he has defensive anthem. Which, by the way, at Nightfall's release was insanely overpowered. And a really cool skill. For our comp, I actually quite like the idea of using it. I think he should be there. Oh no, that's the gin and the treasure chest. Oh, I never talked about... See, the treasure chest system was so good as well in Nightfall. They did so much stuff fucking awesome in Nightfall, man. So So the treasure chest system, they were just like these hidden chests, but they were really rewarding to find, like really rewarding. And you could only get them a certain amount of times on your account within a certain time frame. It was like some of their earliest dabbling with account or like weekly gated rewards, but it was like really, it was like scaled in a kind of way that wouldn't make you quite realize it. Wow, look who died instantly. Did we fail because he died? We did. We failed because he died. Oh my god. All right, fine. Well, screw that. We're gonna try here. I'm gonna pull that djinn out. Have we fought any djinn yet? I think we have, haven't we? This is what Zomoros is, guys. This is what Zomoros is right here. A djinn. He's immolated and he's gonna nuke us hard. See that? Searing Flames. Ready? Watch the second cast. Oh, he never cast it twice. He's an idiot. So Searing Flames was... Searing Flames is splash damage, burning, sorry, on all your foes. And if they're already burning... So there you go. Look, we got a rare from that. Corsair Trappings. That's a superior rune on that. That could be a superior rune of Vigor. Let's drop that. There we go. We've been sieged. Which isn't good. Yeah, what was I going to say? That's Zomoros. My god, I'm scatterbrained today. Like, hard. Let's identify... Where is it? Superior Smiting Prayers. Yeah, I've got no idea what I was saying. I'm sorry, guys. Something important, I'm sure. I still don't have Go for the Eyes. What's wrong with me? Did you ever get anything really valuable from Guild Wars 1 chests? Locked ones? From this system? I actually used to farm it for a little while. I found it was a really fun farm. Or maybe it was character bound. I can't remember. Oh, no. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, they're not the Paragons. Shit, where do you get Defensive Anthem from them? Oh, maybe that's what I was talking about. So Defensive Anthem is... It's an anthem, okay? So... Before Nightfall came out, the main way that all the professions would buff one another was with this stuff called enchantments, okay? And enchantments had built into them, into other classes, lots of counters. So there were enchantments, stripping skills, like loads of them. Strip an enchantment from someone and gain it. As a Mesmer, for example, strip an enchantment from someone and gain energy. Strip an enchantment from someone and gain... and do damage to them. You know, all these things. Strip an enchantment and then use that enchantment. All that kind of stuff. There's lots of counters for it. But when Nightfall came out, they introduced the Paragon, who was supportive, and their kind of perk, right, was that they had anthems which could not be stripped. There were no counters for anthems. Okay, and so one of the elite anthems they added straight away was called Defensive Anthem. And I believe its original implementation was this, that you could permanently maintain it. It was like a 20-second last... It was like... Yeah, it lasted 20 seconds, cooled down in 20 seconds, and it was a 50% chance to block for anyone affected by the anthem. That is huge! And then they nerfed it right after I got it. For PvP reasons, obviously. Or just across the entire game, I guess. Should we just unlock this? Let's unlock Avatar of Balthazar. Here we go. No, I want to stay for the Defensive Anthem now. I want to stay for it. I don't want to use that. Yeah, anyway, yeah, each of the commanders is a dervish of a different god. That's the way that they have it structured in corner. Like, this will be Balthazar, this will be Lissa, this will be Melandru, and so on, so on, so on. That's the way they do it. I kind of messed that up. Alright, we got to go back now, though. And I'm going to put Go for the Eyes on. Corporal Argon in Jahai does give the skill. I think he's around the corner. Oh, Anthem is literally around the corner. Okay, cool. Well, that's alright, guys. No need to worry. We'll just get it in a second. What should I get rid of? Mighty Throw? I'm going to get rid of Mighty Throw. Why is command? I literally have no command skills. Okay, so we need to buy a command skill. So what I should do is... Who even sells skills at the moment around here? Can you buy skills at Yolen Haven? Let's have a look. Yeah, so they nerfed it to be half now. So, which was actually quite interesting, because for a while there was a Heroes Ascent comp where you'd run 2 Paragons for the backline, and they would chain the defensive anthems. It would be his defensive anthem, then yours, then his, then yours. And that way you could maintain it. But obviously it came at the cost of 2 elite skills now, 2 slots, blah, 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 blah. Defensive anthem also, I think it scales with leadership, so no secondary class could use it. There's nothing more profession defining in Guild Wars 1, in my opinion, than an elite skill that scales only off of that class's primary attribute. Because you know that is like the epitome of what it is to be that class. No one else can ever edge in on that. Oh, Dejarin's got another thing for us. Yo. Anyway, we're not going to do that. We might not finish that. There you go, Medando. I am Medando. Hello. So this is all the junk we can buy. It's slowly been building up. Command, not a single one. So there you go, go for the eyes. All this is, guys, is it's a shout. Oh, see, Paragon was cool. When they changed We Shall Return, this is awesome. This is really heavy energy, but it's an instant cast AoE res. It's badass. Oh, I remember Blade Turn Refrain. I could bring full back as well eventually. I love some of these skills. Command is a sweet line, but you guys voted motivation. You guys suck. You're all the worst people in the world. I hate you. I hate you, Twitch. Alright. What do you think about the scavenger hunt quest in Bloodtide Coast and the hypothesis our player char makes of Primordus moving towards Ore? I'm totally out of the loop, and I'm not ashamed to admit it. Well, I am a little bit ashamed to admit it. I'm out of the loop, and I don't know. I haven't played that current event yet. I haven't done any of the current event stuff since that whole thing got added with the moving NPC. All I know is that there's an NPC that moves. That's it. That's all I know. Can't take it any further than that. One thing I wish they put in Guild Wars 2 from Guild Wars 1 is the Traveller. They talked about that on a stream, actually, quite recently. When Kit the Traveller went on there, they were talking about the idea for Guild Wars 2. I think the concept has merit, because I reckon it works as kind of like a monthly thing. It was a weekly thing before, but I reckon it works as a monthly thing in Guild Wars 2. It will never have as much magic, okay? So, people that don't know, Nicholas the Traveller in Guild Wars 1 was an NPC that had all these predefined locations all over the world. One of the later updates they put in there. And every week he would randomly appear at a new place. And it took like ages for people to realise all the locations he could show up in. It took ages. So it was very exciting. At the start of every week, who knows where he'd be? And you'd have the whole world to check. Guild Wars 2, though, I feel like such a system, all the locations would be mined early, straight away. But worse than that, I think you'd even run into some further problems like... do you know what we could have done? We could have cleared the map before triggering the quest, and then he'd be guaranteed to not die. But the other thing is all the waypoints everywhere. There's magic in Guild Wars 1, because if Nick the Traveller appeared, you know, like in the bottom left down near this, behind the garrison or something, it takes a while to get around, right? Like it's no walk in the park. You gotta head out there. In Guild Wars 2, you're one waypoint and a couple of movement skills away from any location you like. I reckon the estimated time of arrival to any given spot interior for Guild Wars 2 is probably a quarter, if not less, than what it is in Guild Wars 1. What do I mean by that? I mean, like, okay, if you had some way to generate... you had like a generator, right, for a random location in Guild Wars 2, and you had a way to generate a random location anywhere playable in Guild Wars 1, okay? And you ask the player to travel to that random location. The Guild Wars 2 player will get there 400% faster so many times. And that's one of the key reasons why Guild Wars 1 feels so much bigger, right? I think that's the best way I can explain it. I don't think I can do any better than that. Alright, where is this dude? No, don't worry about a Paragon Tome. Let's do this one properly. Thank you very much for the offer, though, to whoever that was. So, he is still in the garrison, you're saying. It's just that he's... I mean, that's a scary part of the garrison right there. Let's see who we can pull out, shall we? Let's see. Oh, the problem is, what's happening is if I flag everyone back, Zed's going to keep walking with me. So if I go forward, Zed's going to put himself in some major stranger danger. Alright, we've hit 2 patrols here. That's pretty bad. Hopefully they'll just move over to that. No. Oh, I could have body blocked them, maybe. I'm keeping an eye on Zed, and I'm going to save my signets for him. If they keep blocking, I'm going to have some energy trouble, because I'm not going to get the adrenaline to go for the eyes, to get the energy to keep. There's nothing to fear up in my anthems. Oh, this is much better. There you go. Oh, why weren't we doing this several streams ago? Oh, Zed's taking a beat in there. Feel him up. I like this. I actually like the way you guys have voted on this. This is so aggressive. Okay. Bowman. It's like everyone's like a hybrid. In Guild Wars 1, junk from enemies were all trophies. They could be salvaged or traded with collectors. Right, yeah. Oh, are you saying that there's an issue with the item system as well that makes it not quite work? This is another double aggro. Oh, careful, Maloney. That was a big hit. Oh, I think it's because we're getting sieged at the same time. This isn't a good idea. We're not supposed to be attacking the fortress during this story quest. I have a little bit of faith we'll do okay, though. I'm actually pushing out some juicy heals here. Don't forget that there's nothing to fear, guys. It's getting stronger as we rank in Sunspear. It's getting stronger. So everybody takes 35% less damage there. That's the equivalent of quite a lot of armor. And at the end, I heal them for quite a lot too. Do you agree that they need to do something about minor and major sigil runes? I agree that they need to do something about runes in general. I don't agree with the idea. Here you go. This is him here. Argon. There you go. I don't agree with the idea that they just need to delete delete them. Though there's some merit. If we move in Guild Wars 2 to the world where there are no stats, runes are perks, and it's a different type of item that gives you stats. If we go to that world, maybe you can get rid of the different rarities, but I feel like one of the things that's important in a long RPG where the leveling actually feels fun is going up in tiers through gear. I feel like that's a fun part of the experience. So there you go. You can see all of his skills. We could get any of them for what it's worth, but we're going to choose to take the elite here. For 8 seconds, each party member within earshot has a 50% chance to block incoming attacks, but it ends if that party hits with an attack. So for the next little while, we get to use it all at once. We get our Cruel Spear, and we get Defensive Anthem. Unfortunately, however, that's going to go away once we load into an outpost, so we'll just enjoy our super OP-ness for now. Do you agree that potatoes are better in a stew? No, I don't. Not really. I do enjoy potatoes. That's not why my name's Wooden Potatoes. I do enjoy potatoes, though, in many of their forms. And I don't think that in a stew is the best way. I think in a stew you tend to blur the taste away too much by other things. I enjoy stew, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying I don't like stew. But I like stew for a combination of lots of other things. If I really want to enjoy potato, I'll do like a nice jacket. Or like a potato skin or something like that. I don't know, potato is nearly always a complimentary food. Unless you're slicing it into thin bits and frying it in fucking chip fat. Lost our adrenaline, that's fine. Why is my name Wooden Potatoes? I was just combining random things when I was a lot younger. The reason I created my YouTube account was not to make videos, it was to make playlists. It was a new thing on YouTube at the time. You could make playlists for your music, and I wanted to make a playlist of all my music. So I needed an account for that. So I was just thinking of random stuff. Basically, I had a friend who had asked me for advice on making an MSN account a few years before even that. And we were at his house, and I was like, okay, you need an account name, you need an email address. And he was like, oh, okay, and he just picked 2 random things around him, and that's what he did. And so a couple of years later, when I was making a YouTube account, I was like, what should my YouTube name be? I remembered him employing that tactic, so I employed that tactic. Come on, don't die, Zed. Don't die. Come on, here's a defensive anthem for you, bro. Oh, but he's an ally, not a party member. There's a signet. Oh, my God. Oh, go for the eyes has been the MVP here, guys. Come on, kill this termite. Kill the termite. It's killing Zed. Finish it off. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Zed, you YOLO bastard. Yeah, so those are the 2 things that came to mind. Potato is like one of those words that I think sort of teens around that age, they find it very funny. It's a funny word, potato. You see a lot of people on YouTube who joke about potato, potato, potato. Like, you know, like, I think it's pretty juvenile at this point because I'm an old, smug, twatish bastard that's all jaded and cynical and douchey about the world. And I no longer like it. But I don't dislike it to the point I'd get rid of my name. I've heard the story before, but I never realised you apparently just had a potato. No, I never had a potato lying around. I wasn't basing it purely on visual cues. Maybe the wood was a visual cue, maybe from like a desk or something. But no, there wasn't a potato around. It was just a funny word to me. I thought it was funny, and I was like, okay, I'll do it. Like I say, just sort of one of these juvenile. So I guess one of the things, because these guys are all melee, I shouldn't do the defensive anthem until they get in a little bit. Oh no, they're ranged. They're ranged. Is this supposed to be monkeys throwing poo? Now that's a funny enemy type that they should totally have the balls to do. To have an animation where it looks like they're pulling it out of their backside and just call it like throw gunk or something. There you go. Alright, so here you've got a boss, a Mandragore on its own. Now what do we know about Mandragore? Everything up until this point in the game. What do we know about Mandragore? That they're never alone. And so what happens when you summon him? When you go near him? That does. Oh, and he hurts. We've played this really badly, by the way, in terms of like not being risky, because I'm incredibly confident that there are much safer passages through this map for Zed. Wow, we annihilated them. Good job, team. That was good. Harambe the Unyielding, the final boss of the Domain of Anguish. Harambe the Unyielding. Harambe? What do you mean? Are you talking about Malix the Unyielding? Is that a joke or something? The final bosses of Doa are Lord Jadoth, first of the Margonites. Total badass. In my Universe B video, I suggested that he might come back to Tyria, which I think would have been really crazy. So you got Jadoth. You got the Fury, leader of 3 other ghostly-looking horsemen, known as the Guardians of Kamali, stationed on the other. We're fuck's sake. All right, we're doing it. We're cheesing this. Oh, shit. I should have done Strength of Honor or something. Why is he taking so much aggro? Oh, damn it, Zed. Bless your soul, WP. Oh, I'm not up to date with my memes, apparently. Yeah, I don't know what Harambe is. Like I said, I'm out of touch. What do you want from me? Alright? Teach me then. Tell me what Harambe is. But yeah, you got Jadoth, you got the Fury and his horsemen. You've got the Stygian... what is it called? Is it called the Stygian Maw? You basically have like a giant flappy vagina monster, okay? That's like so appropriately horrific, it's amazing. Oh crap, I forgot about my build. What else do you have as well? Shall we stay with Defensive Anthem? Look, we'll put Defensive Anthem back on when it gets hairy or I'm a little bit scared about stuff. But for now, I tell you what, I should have bought full back. Oh no, but it's command. I don't want to use any of these. Maybe I should have bought another Anthem. Another Anthem would have been exciting. We're going to go buy another Anthem. I'm sorry that it's been a bit slow paced today, but hey, whatever. What time is it? I can't go over, but I enjoy Nightfall so much. We still got a bit. Good. Yeah, so you got the Stygian Maw, I think is what it was called. It's just a giant monster built into the environment. Really cool. And then the last one's Ravenheart Gloom. I think it's just called the Darkness in Ravenheart Gloom. It's just like a dark, evil shadow that when you destroy it, it splits into loads more. And then it splits again. I think that's what it is. And then it explodes into about 1 billion freaking titans. And then after you clear all 4 wings, you get the epic final instance, which is Malix's Ebony Citadel. Oh, that sounds cool just saying it, right? The Ebony Citadel. They had a real penchant for exciting sound stuff. Where's the guy? What? Oh, he's there. I tried going the other way around to see if I get to him quicker this time. Didn't work. Okay, so yeah, let's go to motivation. What do we want, guys? You guys get to vote on this, okay? Is it going to be Anthem of Zeal? For 10 seconds, the next time each ally within earshot uses a spell, they gain 5 energy. That's pretty meh. Extremely meh. Chorus of Restoration, adrenaline-based, not energy-based. For 10 seconds, the next time each ally within earshot uses a shout or a chant, that ally is healed for 78 health. This is also extremely meh because no one except for me has shouts or chants. Unless we put one on costs. Energizing Chorus. For 10 seconds, the next shout or chant used by each ally within earshot costs 6 less energy. Also very meh. An Echo. Whenever a shout or chant ends, that ally gains 1 energy. Also really crap. For each nearby ally, you gain 2 energy. That's also pretty crap. We don't need it. We've got to go for the eyes. For 17 seconds, the next time each ally within earshot uses a signet, that ally loses 1 condition. That's also really crap. Lyric of Zeal. For 10 seconds, the next time each ally within earshot uses a signet, that ally gains 7 energy. That's also really crap. Maybe we could build the heroes to have some synergy on that, but ooh. For 30 seconds, target non-spirit ally loses a condition whenever a shout or chant ends. That's kind of meh. Song of Power. Each ally within earshot gains 4 energy regeneration until that ally uses a skill. That's a funny one. That's really expensive to cast too. Or Zealous Anthem. For 10 seconds, the next time each ally within earshot uses an attack skill, they gain 7 energy. That's all awful. To go over to leadership. Lead the way. Target ally moves 25% faster. Crap. Gain 1 strike of adrenaline for each party member. Crap. They're on fire. Alright, now they're on fire could be kind of fun. We take even less damage as long as they're burning, and we could have thingy make them burn. Oh, aggressive refrain's awesome. I could run aggressive refrain. That's an awesome skill. That makes us attack much faster. That's good. Anytime target ally takes more than 150 damage per second, that ally is healed for any damage over that amount. That's basically never going to proc. Or if the skill hits a knockdown foe, that foe becomes dazed. This one's crazy. This is a really weird skill. I remember using that on an assassin. Blazing Finale. Whenever it ends, explode burn on people. The synergy is like you shout Blazing Finale and they're on fire. Dude, I don't know. None of this stuff looks good. We're going to get aggressive refrain. That's the only skill that's even remotely interesting. Sorry I didn't let you vote, but Christ, what a boring vote that would have been. Let's move that over. Now that I've got to go for the eyes, I should be able to maintain that just fine. Okay, let's do this quest. And we're gonna do it cheesy style. We're gonna have some cheesy garlic bread. You know that stuff you can put in the oven, you can just tear little bits off, easy tear. Remember that? The wooden potato's final solution is not so grim, it's basically an ironing board. Oh god, I remember that quote. 10 has too many professions, it should have been 5 core plus 1 per campaign. That definitely would have been more sustainable. 1 extra per campaign. And even going 1 less at the Prophecies release. Yeah, I think you're right. It would have been Mesmer that would have been cut. The other ones are too rigid in place, right? Like people would have wanted. And Mesmer probably wouldn't have sold very well on an expansion though, which is kind of weird. What I mean by that is like Mesmer's very much loved in the Guild Wars community. It's very iconic to Guild Wars and it's known as a staple of the franchise and everybody loves it and blah blah blah. But really, it's in that position because it's this weird and wonderful thing you don't really see represented too well, especially in Western RPGs. And so, and it was very distinct. It wasn't for everyone though, and what it actually stands for, not everyone necessarily like, but over time it's sort of become this cult thing, in my opinion, the Mesmer, that now everyone kind of knows and loves. Yeah, we're clearing the way to the place first, and we're going to go the most direct route we possibly can to. And then we'll just nip back and grab him. Okay, so what we need to do is we need 25 energy to start aggressive refrain off. But then once we've got it, so here you go. Now our job is to forever keep that on us. So we can keep it on us by popping go for the eyes, any shout, anything like that. It works, okay? And you'll notice like our animations are a lot more fluid now, a lot more comfortable. The thing that's going to be hard is when we're out of battle doing it. So I'm watching for when Go for the Eyes runs out there, for example. I'm going to buff. There we go. So I'm using There's Nothing to Fear. Hopefully that keeps it running. Usually people use Anthem of Fire to maintain it. So we got that one cast. Oh god. But this is more adrenaline gain, which is more energy gain, which is more everything, right? So it's a very, very good skill. It's one of the reasons it's leadership only. Okay, and now let's strengthen on a cost as well. I'm going to monitor Dunkoro's energy. Last week he was fine though. This is looking something like what I've got on my character at least. Is looking something like a real build right now. We're obviously still only 6 players instead of 8 guys. So I'm very much looking forward to expanding our party soon. How's my Patreon income doing? What I've got on my schedule is panned out for every week. I should be, before I record Visual Wood with Matt, dedicating 2.5 hours to doing stuff purely to interact with Patreon people and give them cool bonuses and stuff, because I really want those people to feel appreciated. And every single week I'm feeling the pressure that I can't do it, and I've been unable to, and it really sucks. So it's not where I want to be in terms of the content, because I've got loads of cool ideas I want to show Patreon people. I want to do that video making guide. There's a lot I want to do. I want to do more super Q&As, stuff like that. It's doing okay, but it's gone way down since when Heart of Thorns came out. Which I could get angry and upset about, like, oh, people only like me as much as they like Guild Wars, but you know, that's what comes with the territory, right? I face the realities of that. But yeah, I'm still incredibly great. It's incredible. It's still a billion times better than I ever thought it would be, and it's still absolutely surreal to look at. And I want to do everything I can to make it better. That's basically how Patreon's going at the moment. I'm still, specifically if you're a fan of Tomb Raider and you're on Patreon, you're still getting very, very early uploads on that. In fact, there's another one going up there tonight, which people on the channel won't see for, Christ at this rate, a long time. So yeah, what you guys want to focus on now is the top left. You'll see this refrain on me, and you want to make sure that WP isn't a baddie and that it stays on him the whole time. That's the main thing. My main in Guild Wars 1 was a Mesmer, but if Guild ever wanted me to play my Monk or Ritualist, because no one would ever want to heal. Yeah, and honestly, it's like I said on the previous stream, Mesmer didn't have much of a place anyway in PvE. It really didn't, not for a long time. That stuff I just explained about adding in double Mesmer onto Discord way and stuff, those were late updates. Those changes to the armor ignoring damage and all that stuff, this was a long time, it was slow to get to that. Slow. You should get into the current events right now, as it looks like the NPC's heading towards South Sun. It would be real nice if they made that place more relevant. Maybe. So here's what's interesting. Is this going to run out before this? That's what we're looking at right now. Was I too late? I was too late. Was I too late? By like about a second. Damn it. So what that means is I now no longer have the refrain, so the next time I get into a fight, it's going to come at a 25 energy cost. This is just a bit fiddly. I think it's funny because as much as I don't like how much Mesmer changed and it doesn't appeal to me anymore, I do think that the Mesmer, at high level PvE, I think being a Mesmer is really fun. That kind of supportive playstyle, I think it's really fun. I like a lot what it has to offer. So the core thing there, right, like that I lost that, is it takes me a while to roll the energy, to roll the adrenaline, to get the Go for the Eyes, to get the There's Nothing to Fear, which otherwise I would have been able to instacast. So we got this guy. What were they? They were the insects shortly after this, weren't they? Yeah. Did I see them last time? So these mandragores are actually stripping strength of honor off of my team, which is a real shame. So I'm going to recast that for this insect fight here, so we don't get pressured too hard. On Maloney first, because I believe it's better on Maloney because she cleaves with her attack. How about catching up on the current events on your next Guild Wars 2 stream, so you have other ideas than just Thief PvP? I have other ideas than just Thief PvP. It's just what I'm choosing to do at the moment. We could go back to 0 to Hero. We could, but yeah, I mean, doing the current event. I want to do the current events in my own time, sort of first, and play them and enjoy them. And I want to do. I got to do a video. I've got to do a video just catching people up on all the current events. It's criminal that I haven't done it really, because it's easy content. It's content on a play. It's content people will want to watch. It's publicity for the hard efforts of the old legendary weapon team. And I'm fucking not even doing it. So I need to do it. It's a very fun play style, and the more complex rotation only complements it. Yeah, I think some of the most fun, honestly, in PvE used to be on some old Mesmer builds. I love playing Ara Mesmer. Playing Mesmer in Ara, all the port spots, all the ways to stealth and get through the running sections. How incredible you can be at Loopy by pushing Loopy to a wall and Temporal Curtain, killing him instantly, or feedbacks, or Chaos Storming to share Aegis onto people. You know, that kind of stuff's cool, man. I really like that stuff. Really like it. That's probably my favourite PvE that I've actually had, funnily enough. It's hard. It's apples to oranges. I also like doing massive damage. Mesmer and Ara was great. And to another extent as well, before Dragon Hunter came out, before Heart of Thorns, a lot of Guardian in dungeons was very cool as well, using just the right Aegis procs, making sure you have the walls of Reflect up, keeping that stuff rolling. That was all very nice as well. I like that too. Thoughts on customizable UI in Guild Wars 1 2? Oh, it's a good thing these spawned. They let me keep my refrain up. I'm not sure I really have any thoughts. I'd like... I was surprised to learn the other day, okay, that theoretically, alright, ArenaNet start. Let me start from the top here, okay? Guild Wars 1 had a big scene for UI modding, alright? Not only did the game itself support it, okay, in a much bigger way than Guild Wars 2 will ever, as it seems. But in terms of third-party tools, a lot of people use this thing called TextMod, and they built into it loads of different UI. People would share them. There were all these different user interfaces you could pick from. There were cartography helping, text mods. It was cool. And ArenaNet were happy with it. Their stance was that it was okay. Now, what I was really surprised to find out about in Guild Wars 2 is that could still have happened. It hasn't happened in Guild Wars 2. We don't have customizable UIs, and loads of people have got their different packs and stuff. The closest we ever got are tools that they don't like, which hook memory for the sake of DPS meters and stuff like that people sell to each other under the table and whatever, blah 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 blah. Or we had the guy who made ICM that learned how to intercept DirectX calls and disable elements of the UI, such as the minimap and other little things, the black smudging around the corners at the edges of the screen. That's all we've ever had in Guild Wars. But what I was really surprised to find is that we could potentially have so much more. There could have been, and there still can be, a modding scene around this. There can be. And why? Well, it's for one reason. It's not from ArenaNet's end. If they were okay with text mod in Guild Wars 1, they've given us no indication that they're no longer okay with it in Guild Wars 2. They're really tight-lipped in a bad way, in my opinion, about these things. They need to give some obvious answers and solutions to people. But, it's not coming from them, it's more that nobody's really tried. So text mod itself is very old now, antiquated, and as far as I understand doesn't work very well with Guild Wars 2. So you wouldn't get it through text mod. However, there is a development of text mod, which again I only learned about this last week. A development of text mod called UMod. Right? UMod is the logical development of text mod. UMod is open source. But UMod development also stalled. But UMod's new enough that it works with modern games and stuff. Okay? Now, UMod, unfortunately, in its current implementation, has not got... in its current implementation, it's really laggy with Guild Wars 2. Like, it kills your frame rate if you use it. It's not super bad. It's not really unstable. It's not this. It's not that. But it does drain your FPS. But and that could be why nobody ever really looked at UMod. If you search like the forums, if you search Reddit and stuff, there'll be like one person in a blue moon will ask, "Hey, can I use UMod?" People can sort of get it working, but apparently it hits the frames hard. But the thing's open source. All we've been waiting for is one talented, enthused guy in the Guild Wars 2 community, okay, to look at UMod, take it, fork it, or branch it, whatever the programming term is, I don't know, right? But make it work for Guild Wars 2, right? Like do the research, have a look into it, do it because they're enthusiastic about it, and once they've done that, you would have the same thing. You'd have people would start rallying around it. They'd start making user interface mods and stuff. It would be huge. I would love to encourage that. And I'd love to do videos about different UIs that people make. All this shit is so good for people on the content creation scene, so good for the rest of the community. And I was fascinated to realise that the other day, that we're not even that far away from being in that situation in Guild Wars 2. Now, you can't move UI elements easily, as far as I understand, or resize them and stuff like that. But you can at least skin it. And you can do stuff like adding little markers for 80%, 50%, blah, 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 on things. And whatever else. Where are all these? There's so many mobs. Look at these rampaging nooktukas. He did very well keeping aggressive refrain up. So yeah, that's what I think about UI mods and things. I think they would be awesome. I want the community to have a look at it. But who am I to ask, you know, someone talented what they do with their free time? I mean, I try on occasion, but I can never blame someone if they don't have the time or whatever, right? Okay, I get it. See, even their Zed got chunked. I don't remember this quest being so hard. Is it just because we've only got 6 people and no real monk to speak of? Probably that. ANET needs more female breastplates that don't have individual boob slots. That's not how armor works. ArenaNet Plus. Sure, more variety. Why not? In that situation, it's probably worthwhile. Oof, we got it. Did you guys see that? Jesus. Did we get a second key, or am I crazy? I'm crazy. Finally, the quest's gonna be done. But magical armors can be a bikini. That's true. Oh yes, underboob, truly a gift from the gods. I still want someone to use the mumble location linking to make something for some crazy custom area playlist. DD Gravy, explain that a little bit more, because you might find that we're on the cusp of something very much like that, but I'm not quite sure what you mean. When you say playlist, what do you mean? For music? I have wanted to, because they've got that music thing, I've wanted to, for a long time, release a little music archive of appropriate Guild Wars music to expand the music the game plays for you in a fitting way. So like use Jeremy Soul based pieces. But I don't think the specific tracks I would want to share, I don't think I could ever get permission to do. But that would be awesome. There's some music that I think would fit really well into Guild Wars. In a lot of ways, though, I don't like taking music from other games and putting it into new ones. Like this game, I wouldn't want to take a load of Guild Wars 1 music and inject it into my Guild Wars 2 experience, because then you kill the nostalgia of it. Alright, here we go. Again, another little risk. If you walk through that portal, the quest is fucked and you have to do it again. So, Harrod Firemain.
This is the Codonor Crossroads. Beyond is the Dejarin Estate, a large agricultural farm formerly under the control of the Dejarin family, but now controlled by the Cornan government. They used captured sun spears. My god, I need to make this UI bigger. As forced laborers in the fields. Okay. Ah, so you're the ones I was to wait for. Excellent. Zed has a brilliant plan to free our brothers. Wait until you hear it.
Alright, what is this plan?
So what's this plan of yours?
It is simple, Two Legs. We surrender to the Cornans.
Surrender? Have you lost your mind?
Hardly. Once we surrender, they will lock us up in a pen in the work camp. We then free ourselves and rescue the other centaurs.
And how would we free ourselves if we're locked up?
My friend Haraj Firebane is trusted by the guards. They believe his will to be broken. He has acquired a single key, which he will use to release us.
How do we know you and your friend won't just turn us in?
You don't. You'll have to trust me.
We have to trust a centaur who doesn't trust us.
Yes. Ironic, isn't it?
I moved and I wasn't there in the friggin' thing. The voice acting of the centaur isn't the demon hunter from Diablo? I don't know, maybe. So Regnado says just share the playlist order and let the people get the songs themselves. The problem is the songs I would really want to share can't be found online. So it wouldn't work, unfortunately. One of the interesting possibilities would have been if Shaman had ever managed to mine out music that never got used in the end or implemented properly in the end, and then we could re-implement it ourselves as a community. But I don't think that's ever happened. So. Yeah, that was pretty cheesy. That was pretty hammed up right there. But here we go. This is the entrance to the Corner work camp. If you don't have business here, move along and take that centaur with you. Oh, yes. Zed Shadowhoof joins your party. So for all the discussion we did about who we're going to vote for, that is not even this stream. I thought we were going to get Zed first. So one of the embattled race of centaurs, Zed has little love for those not of his pride. He sees his people as morally superior to the encroaching humans. Alright. So, Zed's our new character, guys. Zed's going to need a little bit of coaxing, a little bit of training. He's only level 17. He's a bit of a baby. But, there you go. He is not a human. I talked about this ages ago, that we were going to get a non-human. We just got a non-human. Zed. So we actually get to play with a centaur. Now, Zed is an elementalist. He is our second elementalist after Susuke. Once upon a time, we could have voted for Jin or Susuke or Sasuke. If we'd voted for Jin, Jin would have been a ranger, and Zed would have been our first Ellie, and then there wouldn't have been like a double up of classes already. I mean, we've already had it with monks anyway, I suppose. But so, this is our second Ellie, okay? So before you start voting on the Susuke stuff, or on the Zed stuff, let's remember what we made Susuke, because it might change your opinion a little. Susuke is a fire Ellie. He's fire magic, that's what you voted for. You picked the Glyph of Energy as his elite, and we went from there, okay? So you picked his primary attribute line and his elite, and you're going to be able to do that now for Zed. So, think to yourselves, what do you want? Do you want another fire guy? Do you want an earth guy this time, or water, whatever? Alright, so I'm going to go to straw poll. Hopefully the stream doesn't die. I have not straw polled since I started doing it full screen. Here we go. Should we just leave that there so you guys are looking at a pause screen? Or should we risk going face cam? Let's go face cam. Yeah, there we go. That's an old potato right there. Okay, we're on the face cam. Okay, so I'm going to go to straw poll. So it's a given that they're going to be energy storage anyway. Okay, so that's not going to be a voting option. For anybody listening to the stream, this is your time to tab in. There's going to be a link in chat in a second. You click the link. You don't need an account or anything. You just click the link, and then you click the option you like the sound of. So what is Zed, guys? What kind of elementalist is he? Is he an earth elementalist? And for those Guild Wars 2 players, you're going to see a lot of Guild Wars 2 skills in these various lines as well. Is he going to be a water elementalist? Is he going to be a fire elementalist? Or lastly, is he going to be an air elementalist? So one final little comment, okay? Earth is kind of like tankiness and blinds and weakness and knockdowns and CC mitigation type things. Water is like is sort of damage in CCs. I tend to think, well, I don't know, they all spread out. Earth has earthquakes and stuff. Water has big damage on stuff like deep freeze and ice and some pretty interesting things. Water trident, stuff like that. Fire, big nuke AoE damage. Air is more kind of single target-y, or it's like armor penetration, but it also has blinds and stuff. These aren't very well defined in my opinion, or not in memory. I can't really remember. But there you go. So those are your 4 options. cast your votes, guys. It is now in chat. By the way, if you run bettertwitch.tv as a Chrome add-on or whatever, you don't even have to leave Twitch. It will just come up. It will say new poll available, vote now, and you just click that right there. So, what are we saying? Earth has some cool stuff. Are we allowed to use non-Nightfall skills for heroes? Yes, we are. Earth is oh yeah, Earth does have wards. Wards might be a good idea for like our weird hybridy type thing. Don't pick fire. We already have one and it's boring. But fire could let us do double searing flames Ellies, says Pokey3. That's true. And with double searing flames Ellies, I could run there on fire on my Paragon. It's a fun little idea. We need the defense and CC of earth or water for our party, says Gerard. Water is a real shit to play against for sure. Yeah, water, like a lot of Stone Summit use water spells, massive water spells. And it makes the Shiver Peaks areas a bitch interior. Where's the ER healer? Ether Renewal healer? Well, I want to keep them to their main class. That's a good idea though, ADS man. ASD man. Maybe I should have made that an option. Air, go air, do pure energy. What, just leave all the other attribute points? Double fire is pretty powerful. Earth, pick air. Earth it is. Alright, okay, we're having a look. I'm going to have a look at the straw poll. Results. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, Earth. Wow, Earth wins with 45%. You guys like the idea of him as an Earth guy? I think his default loadout is water. I think. Okay. There is another opportunity for another Ellie later, I think. Is there? No, I think that's it. I think those are the two Ellies. So we got the two Ellies now, guys. Alright, let's see what we got here. So if I go... There we go. Alright, Earth. Okay. Yeah, he is by default water. There you go. Okay, so you want Earth and you want wards and stuff, I guess. We'll fill in the rest of it after, okay? But first... We're going to max out his Earth, give him as much energy storage as possible. Actually, we'll do it slightly like that. There you go. That's the better way to do it. 11-11 right now. Okay. So, Zed Shadowhoof, the Elementalist, is going to have an Earth Elite. Alright? So, you guys get to vote on this too. But what this is going to be fastest finger first. Okay? So, what's going to happen is I'm going to read out all the Earth Elites, of which there aren't many, as it would seem. Okay? I'm going to read out all the Earth Elites. And then what I'm going to do is tell you guys to pick the one you like and type a number before it. Alright? Or in your comment. So as I'm reading out the elites, if you like the sound of it, type it and get it ready in Twitch chat. And then when I say the number, for example, 78, then you can type 78 and then your answer straight away. And it's fastest finger first, okay? So that's how we're going to do this one. So the Earth Elites. And we'll add in the no attribute ones as well, okay? So no attribute first. These are your options, okay? Second Wind. 5 exhaustion or overcast. 5 energy, very low cast, low cooldown, low everything. Gain 1 energy and 1 health for every point of energy that is restricted by overcast. You will lose all your enchantments if you do this. Very niche. Not sure how the hell a hero would do. Probably be awful at that. Glyph of Renewal. For 15 seconds, your next spell instantly recharges. I'm not sure how the AI handles that either. But I'll point out... Oh no, he's using Glyph of Energy. Okay. Glyph of Renewal. So whatever he uses, he can double cast it. And I could like micro that, I guess. Alright, so those are those two. Now let's look at the Earth ones, okay? So your first choice is Obsidian Flesh. This is an elite enchantment. And for 17 seconds, he's going to get way tankier, okay? Nothing can even target him with spells. But it costs an enormous amount of magic energy for him to do. And he can't attack anymore. So he can use spells to do damage, but he can't attack anymore. This is basically a farm ability that would basically be useless in my opinion on a hero. Okay. Next, Sandstorm. This is a Nightfall based one as well, which makes it kind of on theme. This is probably going to be my favorite of the pick. Sandstorm. Reasonable amount of energy for an Elementalist is bearable. Nice cast time. This is another like AoE thing. Okay, create a sandstorm at the target foe's location. Every second for 10 seconds, they're going to take big earth damage. And if they start if they're attacking in it, sorry, then that damage doubles. So that's pretty nice. When I say big, I mean medium. It's not really that great. Okay? Shockwave. This is an elite spell. What it means is all foes around him, or in the area that you cast it, take earth damage, then they get weakened. Then anyone near him takes even more earth damage and gets cracked armor. Cracked armor means that they take even more damage. And then adjacent foes to him suffer the previous effect and take another. Shockwave's a really fun skill. I just want to show you guys what this looks like, okay? This is one of those ones where the Guild Wars 1 skill effects don't really show it. Is there a Guild Wars 2 skill I can compare to? Basically, it's going to blast out from around him in a radius. People right next to him are going to take 3 packets of damage. People a little bit away from him are going to take 2. And people a bit further away are going to take 1. Alright, so you take massive damage if you're right next to him, okay? That's what Shockwave is, alright? So here, I'll just demonstrate the animation for you. Watch Z Shadowhoof the Centaur. Clicking Shockwave. See that there? So people near him would take more and even so on and so on. So you get that. That's Shockwave. Let's head back in. Oh, actually, I think I might have a different favorite. Okay, moving on. We've got Stone Sheath, another tanky enchantment here. For 16 seconds, you and your target ally will have 22 armor and become immune to crits. When that spell gets cast, then all the foes near the target take damage and get weakened. So this is a really interesting one. So he's going to cast it on someone else, and both of them are going to get the buff. And he's also going to do some damage around the person that he attacks, but not being crit might help way later on in the game. And then finally down here, we have Unsteady Ground. You create an unsteady ground at target location for 5 seconds. Nearby foes take 32 damage each second. Attacking foes are knocked down, okay? Unsteady Ground's actually pretty huge. Unsteady Ground's massive CC. Okay, so it's another rolling AoE that does damage. But if they're attacking... One of them, Sandstorm, is do more damage. The other one is get knocked down. Let me just confirm. I thought my account had all the abilities, but I could be horribly mistaken about that. Because I feel like we're missing stuff. Like, for example, an Elite Ward, aren't we? Elementalist. No, I have every ability in the game unlocked. I do. Okay, good. I guess the Elite Ward is just a different... Where's Ward against harm, guys? What is that? Is that water? Or is that a minor thing? Ward against melee? Isn't there an Elite Ward, guys? Am I crazy? Maybe it's one of these. I guess I'm crazy. We have everything. Alright, ignore that little excursion to the PvPRs for a second. Yeah, I don't know. It feels like there's not as many earth skills as I thought there were. It is smaller than we remember. Someone says you don't have all elites. I do have all elites. We just looked. Ward versus harm. Well, hold on. Let me check here. Sort by type. Enchantment, hex, skill, spell, ward spell. There you go, ward against harm. Yeah, it's water magic. Water, that would have been if we'd voted water. Ward against harm. There you go. I do have it. It's just it's not earth like we thought it was. A lot of the other wards are earth. That's stupid. There's some really questionable shit in this game. Why are all the wards the domain of earth except the elite one is randomly water? Oh, and hey, let's throw in... Why is 10 Eyes Heat classed as a ward? Did they change the functionality of that? I guess they did. I never realised that. 10 Eyes Heat. That's a fire magic ward. That's really interesting. I'm going to put that on what's-his-face in a second. Okay, anyway, so there you go, guys. Quick little recap before I give you the code. Sort by attribute. Your choice is a crazy tanky skill, Obsidian Flesh, that will be pretty much useless on a hero. Sandstorm. Damage and then bigger damage if people are attacking in it and it lasts for a while. Shockwave, an AoE PBOAE, a nuke around us. Stone Sheath, a fairly obscure, odd thing that I'm not sure the heroes will cast very well. If they tried to maintain that on the whole party, he's just never going to have any energy. I don't know how that's going to work. Or last of all, Unsteady Ground. You create an attacking people get knocked down. This one's very powerful, but it only lasts half as long as this. Okay, this one's more offensive. This one's more sustaining. Or we can go for some of these really weird ones. Glyph of Renewal or Second Wind. Okay, get your answer typed out And the first person... Oh, refresh Twitch as well, guys, so that you have a fair chance. You need to refresh Twitch in case you're on a little bit of a delay. Okay? I'll wait a couple of seconds for anybody who wants to do that. Stone Sheath seems AI friendly. Christ, somebody's going to troll hard here. Alright, so the code, guys, is going to be 26. Let's see who got it. I'll add a couple of other heroes while I wait. Susuke and Milani. Unsteady ground, 26 from Flippard. And then another unsteady ground, then a Stone Sheath. Regno, you trolling bastard. You got beaten by the heroes. Legendary. Okay, cool. Alright. We win then. So, unsteady ground it is. I like that choice. It's just the good mix of offense and defense we need, considering all the other trolly offensive crap that we've had. Okay, so a couple of other quick little changes I want to make. Susuke here, alright. Let's get rid of the res sig on him, okay? And let's swap on... Where's that new ward? I've never used it before. This must have been a part of the Elementalist rebalance in the last few days. Where the boards is it? Here. 10 Eyes Heat. Place a ward of 10 Eyes Heat at your location. Foes within the ward suffer health degen, and weakened foes will attack 33% slower. Oh, and you can't drop the cooldown of it. That's really interesting. That's crazy. That's really interesting. So what we can do, guys, is we can combo this 10 Eyes Heat here with weakness from Zed using Earth skills, and it could be really badass, alright? So how else do we want to deal with this? Well, I think Aura of Restoration's a good start. In fact, Aura of Restoration is probably a really good idea on this guy too. Oh, but I don't want him to lose too much. Okay, I'm going to get rid of Glowing Gaze. Alright, why am I going Aura of Restoration? Some of you are probably wondering. Okay, Aura of Restoration, okay, is like Fire Attunement. Remember Fire Attunement? It gives them energy whenever they use the matching attunement. It's very good for energy management. Staple of Elementalist, right? Aura of Restoration is kind of the same. It's energy when you cast, but also it heals you on each cast. And this is very much necessary for us, I think, because we don't have a dedicated healer in any respect. Okay? So I'm actually going to just fill up his bar a little bit here with these two. These are easy picks. Earth Attunement and Aura of Restoration for Zed. Where the hell is Earth Attunement? Christ, am I this bad at it now? There it is, Earth Attunement, cool. Okay, so now that we've got those, we want him to put out some other stuff. So we want him to be kind of defensive, right? Offensively defensive? Earthquake, you invoked an Earthquake. All foes are knocked down and take damage. Earthquake I remember being good. Crystal Wave isn't good. Churning Earth. The next 5 seconds, Churning Earth strikes people. Any foe moving faster than normal when struck is knocked down. Moving faster than normal though. That's good in hard mode where everyone always moves. I think Eruption's a good one because it puts lots of blind out. So let's try an Eruption. That's very expensive though. We gotta get a good balance of the pricey stuff. So Ebon Hawk is weakness, but I want like AoE weakness. What about a ward as well? For 16 seconds, non-spirit allies in this area have a 50% chance to block attack. That's like a defensive anthem. And in fact, I could like chain my thing just right with that. Ward against foes. For 17 seconds, non-spirit foes in this area move 50% slower. Ward against elements. Should we just stack up on wards? Is that a good idea? We're not using kinetic armor or iron mist. Both of those seem terrible. If this spell hits a weakened foe, you gain energy plus 1 energy for every 2 ranks of energy storage. That's not a good idea. Look, I'm going to run Ebon Hawk so that he's got something like spammable. But ideally I want AoE weakness. I can't sort by condition. We need Ebon Hawk for the lore, do we? Dragon Stomp. Oh, that was a good one in Cantha. We would always use that. Oh, here you go. Target foe and all nearby foes move 90% slower, and when it ends, it applies weakness. Wow, Earthen Shackles got really good. There you go. That's AoE weakness and a big-ass snare. He's really not going to do much damage, guys. And I'm not even sure that his damage mitigation is going to be that good. Lots of knockdown, weakness, and snaring here. That's what we've got. Blocking for allies. If anyone's got something else they want me to run here, say it now. Make your peace now, because the build making phase is going to be over in a second. And in fact, the stream is too, unfortunately. We're not going to be able to test that out till next week's Nightfall, I'm afraid. I'm terribly sorry. Yeah, Earth and Shackles never used to do the weakness. I think the functionality of that's completely changed. I do like some of these other ones. I love Earth Aftershock. I love Earthquake. All foes get knocked down and take massive earth damage. That's a cool skill. Maybe I should get rid of the ward against foes, because everyone already is going to be moving slower. Let's do it. Let's swap the ward against foes for an Earthquake. Oh, Earthquake's so pricey though. 25 energy. He's going to be out of mana. He's got 2 25 energy spells on him now. Eruption and Earthquake. That's not smart. It's not smart. What am I doing? Grasping Earth. All foes move slower. Wish there was just a bit more weakness application, that's all. This is going to be the kind of thing we have to watch. Oh, there you go. Oh, there you go. Ward of Weakness. Cheap, and it does exactly what we want. Alright, let's get rid of Earth and Shackles. Ward of Weakness. Ward spell. You create a Ward of Weakness at your location. For 16 seconds, all foes in this area become weakened for 16 seconds whenever they take elemental damage. It's not just applying it. Still, it's pretty good. The ward itself lasts 16 seconds. So if someone gets hit with elemental damage right at the end, then they've got then that more than covers the cooldown. I love build making in this game. Well, in some ways I like it. In some ways I think it's a bit poo. Can't you get energy spam for him in motivation? Ooh, I like it. Okay. Well, what, through one of those skills we were looking at before? Maybe. Maybe. Alright, look, for now, guys. Sorry, but the ward is only melee, not ranged. Yeah. That's true. So it's not going to weaken people. So I think the idea of Earth Magic is he can tank himself up, run in there, drop wards offensively and stuff, maybe? I don't know. We'll have to watch his energy. Obviously, he's an Ellie, so he gets a ton of it. WP had a question about something I saw in Guild Wars 2, about the White Mantle in Brisbane in Aurora. There's something... Yeah, that's just a reference to the events of the Maguma Jungle in the first game. Take Shackles. You want Earth and Shackles back, because it's ranged. Instead of Ward against Weakness. What about both? What if we run both? And we drop Earthquake. Oh, but I like Earthquake. What if we get rid of the ward against melee? Oh, let's get rid of the Ebonhawk. We don't need a single target weakness spam when we've got 2 AoE weaknesses, right? Okay, so here's the build. Knockdown and damage, massive CC, and AoE ranged weakness. Absurd amounts of melee weakness application. Eruption for blind and more rolling damage. Massive damage and a knockdown. That's his only exhaust skill as well, which is good. Only 1 exhaust skill's nice. Having 2 25 energy spells is mental. I don't know whether Earth Attunement and Aura of Restoration will keep that up, but we'll see. And finally, a bit of block for the whole team. I'm really curious to see how that build works. Really curious. And by the way, the ward against weakness only triggering on elemental stuff. Well, what we can do is we can craft into our gear. I can't right now because I'm using green gear. But if we go back to regular gear, we can craft into it like a lightning spearhead or a fire spearhead. I think lightning's better because it might have a bit of armor penetration on it by default or something. I can't remember. But if we do that, then all my attacks are elemental damage attacks. The magic, right? The depth, guys. This is where it comes from. And then we're constantly proccing, even if we're not elementalists. The non-elementalist players can proc that ward. All right, there you go. And that's it, guys. That is today's stream. That's Nightfall. We got a new centaur on our team. A new party member has been acquired. We're now 7 out of 8. And the 8th person, oh, that's going to be some debate. He'll be coming very soon as well. But next, or that character is going to be coming very soon. Next week we'll be doing the Codona Crossroads. Tiny bit of lore before we leave. At the Crossroads of Codona, no one will speak ill of War Marshal Varish. Her tight control over trade has made the merchants here rich. Come for the bargains, stay for the excellent security measures. Just don't get too rowdy, or you might find yourself on the receiving end of Varish's famed law and order. Thanks very much for watching the stream, guys. And I'll see you next time. Have a good evening.